Hello, in this video I'm going to show you how to do the calculator part of homework question 9.2.11. Now, please remember that we're just doing the calculator part, we're not doing the word problem part. All the work is shown here, but remember that the homework changes numbers. So for this example of 9.2.11, we'll be using this numbers. Yours could be different. Okay? So in part A and part B, the difference is we're looking at one sample size of 1, and we're looking at a sample size of 9. So I'm going to go through the work first, then I'll go through the calculator. Okay, so the mu is 9, standard deviation is 1.2, sample size is 1, and we're looking for between 7.8 and 10.2, between. If I was doing this by hand, I would find my SE, but notice that it's 1.2 divided by the square root of 1, which is still 1.2. Square root of 1 is 1, it doesn't change, so we're looking for one person, it's still 1.2. So I've had to find both z-scores. 7.8 minus 9 divided by 1.2 is negative 1. 10.2 minus 9 divided by 1.2 is positive 1. And so I was drawing this. Negative 1 would be here. Positive 1 would be here. And we're looking for between. Remember the table, z table tells us less than. So that's 0.1587. If you look up 1, you get 0.8413. And since we're looking for between, we subtract them. Now for this example, they're saying it's normal, so we're going to do a z-test for both. Z-test for both. Now in the second example, everything's the same except for we have a sample size of 9. So that does change the standard error. So 1.2 divided by the square root of 9 is 0.4. So when I do the same work, notice the only thing that changes is the standard error. And then that therefore changes our z-scores. So we get negative 3 and 3. And then if I go to negative 3, go to the table that gives us 0.0013. And then if I put positive 3 in the z table, that gives us 0.9987. When you subtract them, you get 0.9974. So the question is, how do I do that in the calculator? Now, your calculator can do less than and greater than. It doesn't really do in between. The way to do in between is you have to find the first one and look for less than. You have to find the second one, look for less than, and then you have to subtract. There is a way with normal CDF, which I'll show you as well, but I don't really show that one, but I'll show it in this video. So, again, we're doing z-test because they're both normal, it's okay. So we go to the calculator, stat, test, go to z-test, stats, the first one is 9, standard deviation is 1.2, our x-bar is 7.8, in the first example, n is 1, and we're looking for less than. You can do calculator draw, it's up to you. Again, we're finding this number here, 0.1587. There you get 0.1587, that's here. And then we do the other one, test, z-test, but we change it to x-bar of 10.2. And then we go to, let's do calculate this time. Calculate just gives you the number, 0.8413. You subtract to get the 0.6826. Now in the homework it talks about normal CDF. So in this calculator, which is the STA2023, you hit second vars. There's normal CDF, number 2. Now in this version you just type in the numbers. The 84 version actually gives you a menu what to type in. So if I choose number 2, what the normal CDF wants is the z-score. So we have negative 1. I choose negative, not subtraction. Comma 1. Now again, if you had the other menu, the other version, it gives you the menu what's the lower upper of the two z-scores, and you still get the 0.6826 or 27 if you round. Okay. With the other example, again, we're notice all the work is here, like we talked about. Stat test. We go to z-test. Notice if we do the 10.2 first, and 9. That's the difference right there. We go to calculate. That'll give us the top number. And then if we do the 7.8, go to calculate, gives us the bottom number, and then we subtract. Or since you have the z-scores, we go to second vars, number 2 from normal CDF, then negative 3, comma 3, enter, gives us the 0.9974, they got 9973, the calculator will accept both. Hope that helps. And again, I know this section is on t-tests, but because it said it's normal, this is kind of going back to chapter 7 where there's one or a group. So it's kind of a review of chapter 7.